All right, and now it's time for Data Point to focus on the petroleum prices, on what has happened the past few months. And we begin with what happened some 11 days ago. That is the reduction of prices of petroleum products. For instance, the super petrol reduced by 5 shillings 31 cents to now cost 193 shillings 70 cents in Nairobi. For diesel, it reduced by 10 shillings to now cost 179 shillings 97 cents, while kerosene reduced by more than 18 shillings to settle at 170 shillings 6 cents. So what could have caused this? Let's take a look at some of the patterns. And we start by looking at the landed cost. This is the price of the product by the time it gets to the port of Mombasa. There are various factors that go into it to determine what that value should be. In December 2023, which is about 4 months or so, the landed cost of a litre of super petrol was 111 shillings 111 shillings 5 cents. For this month, this is April 2024, you're talking about 99 shillings 94 cents. The storage and distribution, these are the other levies that go to informing what the actual price will be at the pump. Storage and distribution was 4 shillings 4 cents, now has reduced to 3 shillings 94 cents. The OMCs, or oil marketing companies' margins, this is sort of the profit margin they have to include in the price, was 12 shillings 39 cents. It has remained as such as of now. The taxes and levies, that time was 79 shillings 9 cents, almost the same because it's 76 shillings 57 cents, just a marginal decrease of slightly over 2 shillings. The price stabilization that time was being introduced by EPRA. At that time, it was 5 shillings 75 cents, which was going to subsidize the price of a litre of diesel. This has reduced to just about 86 cents per litre. The total price that time in December 2023 was 212 shillings, but now it is 193 shillings. So the price change would appear to be 18 shillings 66 cents, which is about 8.7%. That percentage is important when you're looking at the impact on the dollar, which I want to begin with on this slide on diesel, because the Kenya shilling against the dollar was 157 shillings 52 cents in December 2023. It is now 133, which is a figure as of last week. That's a 15% decline against the 8.7% decline in the price of a litre of petrol. But for the landed cost of diesel, it was 131 shillings 72 cents, which is way higher than what was the landed cost of a litre of petrol, which was 111. And that may explain why at that time the diesel before the price stabilization was slightly more expensive than a litre of petrol. This time round, it has declined to 97 shillings 72 cents. The storage and distribution, the figures, you can see them from 376 to 359. That time, the oil marketing company's margins, it was zero because, again, there was that price stabilization by the government. Now it has been put back at 12 shillings 36 cents. You can see the change thus far. The taxes and levies remain far more or less the same, because that time it was 67 shillings 77 cents. It is now 63.74, which is a decline of about 4 shillings. The price stabilization that time, it was a minus 1.78, which was taken care of by the by what was being charged on a litre of petrol. Right now, we are paying more, 2 shillings 56 cents for that price stabilization. At the time, the total price was 201 shillings. Now it is 179. So you can see the decline of about 10.6% in the price at the pump of a litre of petrol. But the decline of the exchange rate between Kenya shilling and the dollar is about 15%. So let's take a look at some more analysis to understand what is going on. So we take back 9 months ago. This was July 2023. Litre of petrol was 194 shillings 68 shillings, so 68 cents rather. And this was because after the introduction of the VAT at 16% from 8% based on the Finance Act of 2023. So that was the price. It is now 193 shillings, so more or less the same, just a difference of about a shilling or so. So you can see the transition between this and November back to 193 in April. Then diesel, 179 was the figure in July 2023, went to 203 shillings in November, but now getting back to 179. So you can see again, it's almost the same rate as was in November. Kerosene was 169 shillings 48 cents. It is now 170 shillings 6 cents. Again, we're getting back to where we were in the month of July. So what was the dollar rate that time? At the time in July 2023, the dollar rate was 144 shillings 48 cents. Went up to 155 in November, but now down to 133.54 shillings to the dollar. Again, some more analysis that will tell you that the impact of what has happened to the petroleum prices is squarely on the change in the currency, the Kenyan currency against the dollar. The international prices, this is based on reports by the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority. In July last year, 1 metric ton was costing $880.67 US. So it went up, down. Then now in the month of March 2024, it is 881.11 cents. So you can see it is more or less the same as where we were in July last year. If you have to look at the landed cost in terms of the metric ton getting into the country, in July 2023, 1 metric ton was $739.09 US cents. It is now $737.69. Again, very much the same. So we are where we were in the month of July. So beyond that, what you look at is there has been conversations that the Kenyan currency has appreciated against the dollar because of remittances coming to the country. Is that true? Let's take a look at the data. According to the Central Bank of Kenya, in April 2024, the foreign reserves, according to that data, was 7.2 billion shillings, which is equivalent to 3.8 months of imports. What was the case in, say, December 2023? It was at 6.7 billion US dollars. So you do the math, 7.2 billion versus 6.7 billion is a difference of about 500 million US dollars. So not so much change, but it's a bit significant, bearing in mind that when you have $500 million US dollars in the economy, then it's sort of helping some of the things, especially when it comes to the months of importation from 3.59 months to 3.8 months, which is more or less about 6 days of difference. And that is the trend of what is happening with matters of petroleum prices. Essentially, to understand here that the price reduction is not of any effort by anyone. It is just about the Kenyan currency appreciating against the US dollar. What are the reasons of the appreciation? Of course, a lot of reasons have been given, but clearly you can see there's no much difference in terms of the foreign reserves or the forex reserves within the country. And that is data point for this week. We take a short break. When we come back, we have more, including this.